And welcome back to Shots City Sports Today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back with my dad today. He's feeling a little bit under the weather, but he's a trooper. He'll get it done for me this week. Let's get into the picks right now. First game out, Ohio State and Northwestern tonight in Evanston. I will take Ohio State minus. I'll take Ohio State to win the game, but Northwestern plus 27 tonight. Give me Ohio State on the road.
Ohio State's very impressive. I think Ohio State wins this. They may not win by 4 touchdowns, but they're going to win by at least 3 touchdowns.
Next up, Florida and South Carolina. I will take Florida on the road, coming off a tough loss last week. I like Florida rebounds, and South Carolina's will be a little bit too excited after last week's win against Georgia. I'll take Florida on the road to get it done against South Carolina.
Tough game to pick. South Carolina's defense looked awfully good against Georgia, but I think they're going to be, like Scott said, on a down low after being at such a high. Florida's going to be angry after losing to LSU. I think Florida's going to win, but by like a field goal.
Next up, Clemson and Louisville should be a good game tomorrow. I will take Trevor Lawrence and Clemson to get it done on the road in Louisville against Louisville.
This is a potential trap game for Clemson. I could see them struggling here a little bit. Louisville's been much better than anticipated. I think Clemson wins, but I think they'll be pretty close.
Next up, West Virginia and Oklahoma. I will take Oklahoma at home in Norman to get it done at home against West Virginia.
West Virginia's really fallen off as a program. Oklahoma is flying high. Oklahoma wins this big.
Next up, Jonathan Taylor in Wisconsin heading to Champaign to take on Lovie Smith in Illinois. I will take Wisconsin to get it done on the road against Illinois on tomorrow.
Lovie Smith, if you're hearing this program, please shave that beard. It's looking bad. Wisconsin wins big.
Next up, Arkansas and Auburn into Fayetteville. I will go with Bo Nix and Auburn to rebound after a tough loss a couple weeks ago against Florida. I think they'll bounce back after a bye week. Give me Auburn on the road against Arkansas.
I agree. I think this game will be closer than most people expect, but I do think Auburn will get the win.
Purdue and Iowa in Iowa City tomorrow at Kinnick on a noon kickoff tomorrow. Give me Nate Stanley and Iowa to keep it going. They'll keep it going this week against Purdue.
Iowa's a better team. They're at home. Give me Iowa.
Next up, LSU and Mississippi State should be a good game tomorrow. Give me Joe Burrow and LSU to keep it going. I hope they stay undefeated until they play Alabama. Give me Joe Burrow and LSU to get it done on the road against Mississippi State.
As a Gator fan, I got to see the LSU team up close, and their offense looked pretty darn impressive. I think LSU is going to roll.
Next up, Oregon and Washington should be a good game tomorrow, 3:30 on ABC. Give me Justin Herbert and Oregon to get it done on the road. Should be no problem. I think it's going to be a good game tomorrow. Give me Oregon on the road to get it done against Washington.
I think this will be a close game since it's at Washington, but I do think Oregon's a superior team. But I think it'll be a touchdown or less kind of game. Oregon gets a win.
Next up, Temple and SMU should be a great game tomorrow in Dallas. Give me Temple to upset. I think Temple's going to find a way to pull up the upset here against number 19 ranked SMU, who has not lost this season. Temple lost to a pretty good, can't remember who they lost to, but I think they'll get a win this week against SMU.
I think if this is in Philadelphia, Temple gets a win, but I think in Dallas, I think SMU is going to win this one in a close one. I like SMU.
Next up, Minnesota and Rutgers should be a good game tomorrow. Again, Minnesota is not deserved to be ranked, but they are, so I'll take Minnesota to keep on skating by, and they'll get a win on the road against Rutgers.
Minnesota's had a very easy schedule that continues this week with Rutgers. Minnesota gets a win.
Next up, Cincinnati and Tulsa should be a good game tomorrow. Give me Cincinnati to get a win. Michael Warren will run the ball a little bit, run the ball up and down the field tomorrow. Give me Cincinnati on the road at home against Tulsa.
Much as I'd like to pick Tulsa, I think Cincinnati's a better team. They're at home. Cincinnati gets the win.
Next up, App State. First time in the rankings in a couple of years as they take on Louisiana Monroe. Should be a great game tomorrow. In Boone, I will take App State at home to get it done against Louisiana Monroe tomorrow.
Louisiana Monroe gave Florida State a tough game early in the season, but Florida State's not that good, so I don't know what that really tells us. But App State is undefeated, and I think it will continue to remain so. App State.
Next up, Baylor and Oklahoma State. Baylor, the biggest surprise of the entire college football season this year, sitting there at 6-0 and 18th ranked in the nation. I think they keep going. Give me Baylor on the road in Stillwater to get it done against Oklahoma State.
I'm going to take the upset here. I think Oklahoma State at home, they're a much better home team than they are away team. I think they're going to beat Baylor in this one.
Next up, Missouri and Vanderbilt should be a close game. These two teams always play close. But I'm going to take Kelly Bryant and Missouri to make it 6 wins in a row and get it done in Nashville tomorrow against Vandy.
Vandy's taking a step back. Missouri looks pretty good. I like Missouri.
Next up, Kentucky and Georgia should be a good game tomorrow, 6 o'clock on ESPN. Should be a great game. I'm going to take Jake Fromm and Georgia to keep it going. Rebound and bounce back going into the bye week next week. And then they get Florida the next week in probably the biggest game of the year. Give me Georgia at home in Athens to get it done against Kentucky.
For my man Terry Jewell, I'd really like to take Kentucky, but I just can't. Georgia's going to be really angry after losing South Carolina. I think Georgia's going to win at home.
But I don't think they covered the 25. I don't think Georgia's offense is good enough.
I agree, Scott.
Next up, Arizona State and Utah should be a good game tomorrow. A sleeper game of the week, in my opinion. I'm going to take Utah to get it done just because they're at home. These are two of the best teams in the Pac-12, in my opinion. Give me Utah at home over Arizona State.
I agree. I think Arizona State's one of the surprise teams of the season. Utah was pretty highly touted coming in, but since they're playing at home, I like Utah on this one.
Next up, Kansas and Texas should be a good game tomorrow. Les Miles looking for his biggest win since getting to Kansas. I'm going to take Sam Ehlinger in Texas to rebound after a tough loss last week to Oklahoma. I'm going to get it done this week. Give me Texas at home, and that'll be on the Longhorn Network tomorrow. Give me Texas at home against Kansas.
If they're playing basketball, I'd give Kansas a chance, but they're playing football, so no chance. Texas wins this one.
Next up, Michigan and Penn State tomorrow. College game day will be there tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock on ESPN. I will take Penn State at home to get it done at home against Jim Harbaugh in Michigan. I just cannot put my faith in Jim Harbaugh to win games that he needs to win, so I'm going to take Penn State at home to get it done against Michigan.
I agree. I think Penn State's a better team. They're also at home. Michigan does not play well against top 25 opponents. I like Penn State.
Next up, Tennessee and Alabama. This game could be over right now if Alabama's already there. I'll take Bama at home to get it done against Tennessee.
Tennessee's really bad. Alabama's really good. That means a blowout.
Next up, Boise State, BYU should be your game tomorrow. BYU's got two good wins on their schedule with Tennessee and USC as their 2 wins, and then 4 pretty bad losses. Lost to South Florida last week. So I'm going to take Boise State at home on the road in Provo to get it done against the Cougs.
BYU's a funny team. They seem to play really good teams, or at least decent teams, well. I almost want to pick BYU, but I'm going to take Boise State in a close one.
Now into the NFL games for the weekend. I am on a 2-game win streak on Thursday night. I picked the Chiefs last night. They got it done for me. Next up, the Rams and the Falcons starting off Sunday afternoon football, 1 o'clock on Fox. I will take Jared Goff and the Rams to end that 3-game losing streak and get it done in Atlanta against Matty Ice and the Falcons.
I agree. I think it's going to be a close game. I think the Rams will not lose 4 in a row. Give me a field goal kind of game. I like the Rams.
Next up, Miami and Buffalo should be a good game tomorrow on Sunday. I will take Josh Allen and the Bills to get it done at home in Buffalo against Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Dolphins.
Dolphins are truly terrible. The Bills are above average. Give me the Bills.
Next up, Jacksonville and Cincinnati should be a good game tomorrow on Sunday. I will take Jacksonville to get it done. Rebound and bounce back after a tough loss to the Saints last week. Give me Gardner Minshew and the Jags to get it done on the road against the Bengals.
I think this game is going to be close since it's in Cincinnati, but I agree with Scott. I think the Jags will get this one, but it'll be like a field goal kind of game.
Next up, the Minnesota Vikings, who had a big week last week against the Philadelphia Eagles, as they take on the Detroit Lions coming off a tough, really heartbreaking loss on Monday night. I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings to keep it going and get a home road win in Detroit against the Lions.
I agree. I think the Vikings are a superior team over the Lions. Vikings are kind of Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know what you're going to get from one week to the next, but I'm going to take the Vikings in this one.
Next up, the Oakland Raiders coming off a huge win a couple weeks ago in London against the Chicago Bears. They head into Green Bay to take on Aaron Rodgers and the Pack. I'm going to go with the Packers to keep it going. I'm going to take Aaron Rodgers and the Packers to get a win on Sunday against the Raiders.
I agree. I think the Packers are a better team. They're playing at home. Oakland's traveling from west to east. I like the Packers.
Next up, the Houston Texans and the Indianapolis Colts. I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson and the Texans to get it done on the road here in Indy. I think They are the favorites to win the AFC South, as they should be. I'm going to take the Texans on the road to get it done against Indy.
Indy's done better than people expected after Andrew Luck's retirement announcement. I'm going to take Indianapolis just because they're at home and they're playing well.
Next up, Arizona and New York should be a good game on Sunday night. If you like a lot of points, this will be the perfect game to watch because there's probably going to be no defense in this game. But I'm going to take Danny Dimes and the Giants to get it done at home. They're still alive for a potential playoff spot right now at 2-4. So I'm going to take the G-Man at home to get it done against the Cardinals.
Two pretty bad teams, so give me the home team. I'm taking the Giants.
Next up, the Niners and the Redskins in Baltimore, in Washington. I will take Jimmy G and the Niners to keep it going. Looked good last week. I'm coming off a bye. I'm going to take the Niners on the road to get it done against the Redskins.
Another surprise team this year. 49ers are having a great season. I like the 49ers in this one.
Next up, the Chargers and the Titans, two teams that have been very bad this season that I expected to be much better. I'm going to take the Chargers to get it done because they still have their starting quarterback in. The Titans go to Ryan Tannehill this week. I'm going to take Phillip Rivers and the Chargers to get it done on the road in Nashville against the Titans.
Who could pick this game with any certainty? You got two teams that have really underperformed, but I kind of agree with Scott. I think the Chargers are going to give this one on the road.
Next up, the New Orleans Saints and the Chicago Bears. Just based on what I saw in the injury report a couple of hours ago, I'm going to take the home Bears to get it done against the Alvin Kamara-less New Orleans Saints. Give me the Bears at home to get it done against the Saints.
This should be a low-scoring game with two very good defenses. I think being at home, I think the Bears are going to get the win.
Next up, the Ravens and the Seahawks should be a good game on Sunday. I'm going to take Seattle. They've been red hot all season. They're at the link this week. I'm going to take Seattle to get it done against the Ravens.
This is strictly a home a game pick for me. I think it's because if Seattle's on the road, I would take Baltimore, but since they're at home, give me Seattle.
Next up, the Eagles and the Cowboys, Sunday Night Football. Should be a great game on Sunday. I'm going to take the Cowboys one last time, and they'll find a way to get a win this way. Give me Dak, Zeke, and the Cowboys to get it done at home and end that 3-game losing streak and get it done against the Eagles.
Cowboys are leaking oil. They are struggling. I think the Philadelphia Eagles go in and get a win in Dallas.
Next up, the Pats and the Jets, Monday Night Football. I will take Tom Brady and the Pats to get it done and keep that undefeated streak alive. Give me New England at home on the road in East Rutherford and MetLife Stadium to beat Sam Darnold and the Jets.
With this being a road game, I think it's going to be a closer game than most people expect, but I also think the Patriots will get the win.
And that'll do it for this episode of Scott's Weekly Sports today, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be back next week with my two buddies, David and Steven. They'll both be in next week. And I will be back next week on Scott's Weekly Sports. Subscribe to Steven Battle because he deserves it. He's almost at 200. And also because I need to prove to him that I can give him subscribers so he can give them back to me. I will see you guys right back here next week on Scott's Weekly Sports right here on YouTube. See you later, guys.
See you guys.